You have to be the kind of man who can make the hardest decisions.
Alright guys, first and foremost, Sony just confirmed that SpiderMan Remastered is indeed on its way to the PCs for the first time, and will eventually release by August 12 this year. The remastered version, in case you're just wondering, will have a fast travel system now. It comes with a fine-tuned and smoother combat system, all previously released DLCs with additional missions, customizable options, and more. Check it out.
I'm gonna go,
Do your thing.
You can't just push people around like that.
Just ask for help next time.
Time to bring back the glory days. Unless Murad had me released from prison. But why? Redemption is still possible, Reyes. Climb the mountain. Find out why the machines are attacking.
Coming up behind that by Guerrilla Games, the fine folks behind all Horizon games. We have from the earlier Summer Game Festival this year, Horizon Call the Mountain, an open-world, non-linear adventure game only taking place in the series' universe. See, Call of the Mountain right now doesn't have a release date, technically because we don't even have a release date for the console that it is supposed to be released for, which is PlayStation VR 2, only rumors of a 2023 mid to late window. Check it out.
You have walked in the shadows, Reyes. Now it is time to climb.
Guys, first off, just a big thanks to Soft Start Technology. At last, we have The Legend of Sword and Fairy announced. In case you're unfamiliar with, first off, a series of RPGs that's been going on for over 25 years now. Together Forever here, the new game, will finally receive an English release on the PlayStation 4 and 5 only in worldwide, and releasing by August 4 this year. Check it out. To accompany the great news, the fine folks at the company also came out with this.
I'm out here looking for something. Despite the world being in the state it is.
Valkyrie, heed my words. Ragnarok tears our world asunder. All we hold precious lies on the brink of annihilation.
On the other hand, we have Valkyrie Elysium, releasing on the PlayStation 4 and 5 September 29 this year. In case you're wondering, a PC version of it also releases November 11 this year. The good news finally came through just this past week. The company new trailer that technically showcases the first official gameplay, cutscenes, the all-action RPG formula, and the word that this entry's Valkyrie is named Lilith, and also based on Norse mythology. Take a look.
For me in this world, I just want a chance to make things right.
My name is Christopher. I have protected this land and its people as my forefathers did before me. Very well. Then I pledge my loyalty as your inheritor until the very end.
You are a being of divine power, are you not? Please, would you hear my plea? My name is Thyia. It was once my duty to watch over this land.
Wretched soul, by Odin's command, you shall be purified.
So this is one of the 4 gifts. If I had to guess, I'd say this was Gungnir.
engrave it upon your soul. Divine Assault! Nibelung Valesti!
Please allow me to conduct a small test of your metal.
In local news, a new crime wave that is sweeping Detroit has already claimed the lives of 21 police officers.
At number 5, and this has actually been a long time coming. See, Robocop Rogue City, you see, was just shown off on IGN with its first official gameplay and a release date of June 2023. Nothing really much to talk about with this one except, as suspected before, the game is indeed an action first-person shooter and a tiny bit in the same vein as Bright Memory Infinite. Check it out, just in case you missed it.
What the hell is this? Where is all the money?
We all saw it hesitate in a life and death situation. Why?
Listen, I would trust this guy with my kids. I mean, if I had any. This was just an isolated glitch.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
You gotta do something to capture people's attention. So what do we build next?
Alright, coming up at number 3, we've got Saints Row once again, pretty much after months and months of anticipation and rumors. See, eventually the game is now releasing on all platforms except Switch, obviously, August 23 this year. In case you're wondering, it'll be the first Saints Row game since Saints Row 4 2013, now featuring a completely new cast of characters. It'll feature a co-op multiplayer section too, and this is how it actually looks like.
만약에 말이야. 만약에 누군가 당신을 죽이고 내가 복수한다고 하면 당신은 뭐라고 할까?
A couple of weeks ago, in case this is somehow news to you, NCSoft, well, the same South Korean developers behind all online Lineage games, went on to debut the first gameplay trailer of a Project M, supposedly a visual novel-style adventure game, and all while taking heavy cues from Quantic Dream games like Heavy Rain and such, then utilizing Unreal Engine 5. This is said to be how the game actually looks like in early development stage, and the full thing releasing by the end of 2023. Check it out. Guys, at number 5, technically about a few months ago, we finally came across the update that Thyia is now set to finally come out August 9 this year. That it'll be finally released for PCs, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X only. And accompany the good news, they also released a new trailer on the old action RPG IP that was revealed first last year. Just in case you missed out, well, basically a Souls-like and one set in a world infested with some sort of a plague. Here.
as long as I can remember, I have looked for an equal.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2, on the other hand, is now in development for the PlayStation 5 and 5 only, and releasing mid to late 2023 at its latest. You might want to know that Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered is also due out August 12 this year, and also Miles Morales a few months later we hear. Frankly, there's not much to say about this one either, except please just take your time and let this one not be just another identical gameplay Insomniac games. So, yes.
One of you finally give me what I desire.
Yes, we will.
Coming up behind that, we have once again Atlas, actually no more than just a month ago, went on and released a new trailer on Soul Hackers 2. Well, technically a sequel to Devil Summoner Souls Hackers from almost, 30 years ago. In case you aren't familiar, however, a Japanese role-playing game at heart, and said that this one is on its way to all consoles and PCs August 26 this year. So just keep it in mind for now.
I didn't even know that was possible.
I suppose I'll take you up on your offer. For now. I'll help you prevent this end of the world or whatever you've been going on about.
So you're telling me this smooth-talking sweetheart who's out to save the whole world set some time aside just for little old me?
Your story doesn't really end here, right? You've got some unfinished business.
The school gates, the scent of a leather-bound book, the faint clatter of knights jousting. Well, I can't say I remember that part, though it wasn't like this in my day.
Moving on, we have what's going on here called Twooint Campus. Something, well, technically if you're into management sim games or have previously played Twooint Hospital, would probably be something right up your alley. Why? Well, first of all, it is actually the sequel to Twooint Hospital, and it almost works pretty identical to that, but with different challenges in a different setting, well, technically a school. Here, this game is releasing August 9 for consoles and PCs, and already available through a free demo on Steam.
Sometimes you still can't get the staff. Yes, these days it really does feel as though anything is possible.
And Geo, I can cut loose, right?
Within reason.
It's showtime!
At number 3, well, glad to have finally the opportunity to talk about this one. Square Enix announced maybe a little less than a month ago that Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, which is technically a remastered of a classic PSP port, and now moving over to the PlayStation 5 around November to December this year. The remastered version, as we know right now, will have an improved camera angle, character models, optimized UI, and some new battle systems too. Check it out.
Project G gave birth to the man we know as Genesis.
Project G.
Project Genesis.
Settle down, Zack the puppy. What do you know?
Shiver lapdogs!
To finish what he started. He wants to reclaim his birthright.
On the other hand, we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, technically the second chapter in the Final Fantasy VII Remake project. You might be interested to know that Square Enix just announced that it'll be an exclusive game to the PlayStation 5. Why? Technically all because of the new next generation console's SSD hardware. It'll now be releasing by the end of 2023 at its latest, and well, to accompany the update, the fine folks at the company also came up with this.
What happened to you?
I'm trying so hard to find you.
Sorry. Feel like I failed you.
Another quick mention, in case you have missed out on the news, Star Wars Jedi Survivor is now slated to launch mid to late next year, possibly around November, and as a next generation console game and eventually coming to PCs only. It actually takes place 5 years after the events of Jedi Fallen Order, and now bringing some Souls-like action to the table. Alright guys, quick mention. Sony's Santa Monica studio recently dropped off another cinematic trailer on God of War Ragnarok, just in case you missed it. All you need to know is that the game is now confirmed for a November 9, 2022 release on PlayStation 4 and 5, and rumors of a potential state of play dedicated to the game in the following month, so keep it in mind.
When you are at your weakest.
In fear and doubt, or a burden too heavy to bear.
Remember this. You are not alone.
You ever feel like you're just waiting for a sign? To do that thing you've always meant to do?
And lastly, by KO Up, actually creators of some of the highest quality indie games of the past couple of years. We've got something going on here called Goodbye Volcano High, technically a cinematic narrative adventure. Not much to talk about this one either, to be quite frank. All we know is that it was announced maybe 2 years ago, so it's actually been in development for quite a while and now due out November this year, hopefully.
But if we've got nothing else to lose, might as well jump.
Up next, by the same fine developers behind the one and only game Let It Die from roughly 6 years ago, we have once again Deathverse and now Let It Die. Well, supposedly the successor to the old Deathverse game and now a multiplayer survival game, and somehow set in some sort of a reality show, and it looks to be working too. Well, here's a trailer. The game's now releasing later this year, October maybe, and for the PlayStation consoles only.
See you later.
Oh, yeah!
Got it, Senpai.
I've been on quite the adventure, little brother.
I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
At number 10, well, technically just a quick reminder, for those of you who have actually missed out on, The Last of Us Part 1 Remake is now on its way to the PlayStation 5 and PCs eventually, September 2nd this year. In case you're wondering why it's being released once again, reason being is that the game is being rebuilt from the ground up, with haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, and 3D audio, better visuals, and even more content we hear. So just keep it in mind for now.
Damn it.
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that's good for one thing. Get you killed.
I can take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had?
I get in trouble down there. You make every shot count.
I got this.
Hope you know how to use that thing.
I've had some practice.
The chaos he would wreak would sweep all of Thyia into the abyss.
Square Enix, on the other hand, actually no more than a couple of weeks ago, went on and also released a new trailer for Final Fantasy XVI, and an update on the release window, which is now summer 2023. Supposedly the game's now coming to PlayStation 5 and PCs only. Final Fantasy XVI, in case you're wondering, we know will be a single-player focused action RPG, like most previous entries. It'll be a PlayStation timed exclusive too, and just in case you have missed out, this is how it actually looks like.
There will be losses, it is true. Yet for every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another can be built. The Empire will live on.
Probably the worst news you're about to hear today, if you have actually been waiting to hear more about this one though. See, Forspoken just went on and received another delay and now releasing January 24 next year, as opposed to its previously October 11 this year. The game will be releasing for the PlayStation 5 and PCs only, just in case you aren't familiar with, as an open world action RPG adventure and a single player game coming from the same team behind Final Fantasy 15, hence technically all the resemblance. Anyway, here's a new one. I actually mentioned this one maybe a couple of weeks ago, I think. So first off, just in case you have missed out, and second, there's more that just came out. Number one, well, Marvel's Wolverine is in development for the PlayStation 5 only, and it is releasing by the end of 2023 at its latest. This game is being directed by the same guy in charge of Spider-Man Miles Morales. Number two, we just learned that the game will be a mature rated one. And last but not least, Ian McLaren is actually playing the role this time around, so keep it in mind. Coming up behind that, we've got Eternites, what was just revealed to be an apocalyptic dating simulation game, and an action game too, as a company's first project, wherein you take on a journey to find love through death, or just chaos. Maybe I'm just exaggerating, I don't know. Here's a trailer. Eternites is said to be coming to PCs in the PlayStation consoles only and due out early next year. Moving on at number 16, we have Stray. Y'all probably know about this one by now. The game where you play the role of a cat lost in a strange science fiction post-apocalyptic world, and by the same folks at Annapurna Interactive and Blue 12 Studios. Well, the game is pretty much in active development and now releasing on the PlayStation consoles and PCs only July 19th this year, and will supposedly take you about 8 to 10 hours tops, just in case you were wondering.
She set out to record life at the end of this season.
To make it real for people in the future. She asked us about living together.
Alright, at number 18, personally I've been waiting to have hands on this one really patiently. Well, we have something going on here called Season, for those of you new. The aforementioned game from last year and now renamed to fully Season, a letter to the future. What is described by the fine folks at the company as a third-person atmospheric adventure bicycle road trip, and through the eyes of a young woman getting far away from a secluded community. Technically this is how the game is supposed to look like. All we know in terms of a release window is that it'll be released by the end of 2022.
The way she listened made you want to tell her everything.
I got to look in her journal. The world was telling her its secrets. I think she even figured out what will happen to us when the season ends. Is it going? Is it gone?
Not yet.
A new blood sport grips the globe. And in the arena, there will only be the victorious.
Moving on, we have Drrome. Well, that is, as surprising as it might sound now, one of the most anticipated IPs due this August. Pretty much since Sony's State of Play earlier this year, what is described by its developers as a stylish dystopian roller skating game where you get to actually shoot off other competitors with all sorts of different guns and get to win in some sort of a derby-style combat racing thing. Well, check it out. This game's on its way to the PlayStation consoles and PCs only August 16th.
The world is watching in Drrome.